Alright, I just got done watching Raw. It was a very good Raw, actually. Much better than last week's. Last week's was kind of boring. This week's was very good. They started off, we had this first ever debate thing they did. The Elimination Chamber was all the participants, CM Punk, R-Truth, Dolph Ziggler, Miz, Jericho, and Mr. Irrelevant Kofi Kingston. And they were just going back and forth with everything. It was pretty funny. Ziggler had some funny digs at the crowd and everything, and at R-Truth. R-Truth had another weird R-Truth moment with Lil Jimmy drinking spider shakes or something like that. CM Punk was great. He made a burn about Jericho regarding his terrible performance on Dancing with the Stars, and CM Punk was just good, of course. Expecting to be good in this kind of segment. Kofi had a crappy speech about how he's been overlooked, and he's going to continue to be overlooked at the Chamber. We all know it. Miz got mad at Jericho for saying he's a wannabe because Jericho last week called Miz a wannabe Jericho for wearing suits and talking slow, and that's true. Miz did that after Jericho left, even though I'm a fan of the Miz. Which, by the way, poor Miz, he's been getting way too much heat lately about Survivor Series, buy rate, and Del Rio was talking crap about him on the radio this week, saying he hates him. He tried to punch. Del Rio said he tried to punch Miz, and Miz ran away like a little girl. And he called Miz fat and ugly. And he didn't get in trouble as far as I know. And then tonight, in a match, all the matches were pretty good tonight. But tonight, actually, I'll go ahead and talk about the other ones first. Randy Orton and Big Show had a match that was very good for a Big Show match, it was good. Even though Big Show's not a terrible wrestler. But they had a match, and Daniel Bryan was ringside. And Randy Orton tried to RKO Big Show, and they missed it. They messed it up. They botched it. It was terrible, but it was kind of funny. And then they, ended up redid it, and he got the RKO. It was weird. I didn't realize it at first, and then I noticed it was botched. But yeah, so that was the only thing that messed up that match. And then Daniel Bryan hit them both with the title. Came in while they were down, and while Randy Orton was not looking. That was pretty good build-up for the SmackDown Chamber on Raw. I thought it was good that they did that. But and then all the Elimination Chamber participants from Raw were in action tonight against each other. I'm trying to think of what the first match was. Chris Jericho beat Kofi Kingston. They had that match right after the debate. Kofi actually hit Jericho with like 2 Trouble in Paradises early on. Like, he hit him before the match even started, and then he hit him again. But then Jericho won because Jericho is the best in the world at what he does. And then R-Truth and Ziggler had a match, and Ziggler was doing his show-off thing where he does the sit-ups, and R-Truth rolled him up into a small package and got the 1-2-3. So R-Truth got the win over Ziggler. And poor Ziggler. But then later on in the night, this was the last match of the night, CM Punk and Miz had a match, and CM Punk, it was a good match. It was good back and forth. But CM Punk locked in the Anaconda Vice, and Miz tapped out. That was it. He just tapped out. It wasn't, I was expecting a Jericho run-in or something, DQ, but no, Miz just tapped out. I guess that kind of shows what, the heat that Miz has been getting, because, he just went down pretty easy. But good win for Punk. The John Cena-Kane storyline, this is probably the best episode that has involved this, like, as far as the storyline developments for the Cena-Kane feud, this is the best that they've been. They've always been crappy. Almost every Cena-Kane segment has been crappy up until tonight, I thought. Cena was talking to Zack Ryder, and he was saying he wanted to get Ask Eve out because it's Valentine's Day or something. And but Kane ended up throwing Eve into an ambulance and trying to drive off. Well, Eve jumped out of the back, and when Cena was trying to rescue her, and she jumped into Cena's arms, and then they started kissing, and it was one of the weirdest things ever. And then, of course, as luck would have it, they look next to them, and Zack Ryder, poor Zack Ryder, which, by the way, was trending on Twitter, poor Zack, rolled up in his wheelchair with his neck brace and his crutches, completely crushed. And, I mean, that was a pretty shocking segment. Nobody expected that to happen. Of course, there's a lot of people who aren't going to like that, but oh well. And then, Cena went out. He's stupid, so he acted like a stupid idiot, saying, "I'll rise above your hate, yeah. And then Zack Ryder came out there and slapped him, and he actually, kind of pushed Zack Ryder, because, they had a kind of a stare down. And then Zack went and got back in his wheelchair, and then Kane started playing on the screen a video of Kane where he was telling Cena he finally embraced the hate because he's managed to turn, his friend against him, and he stole his true love. Well, then Kane comes out behind Zack Ryder and grabs him by his wheelchair and throws him off the stage. I don't know how many more times Kane can try to kill Zack Ryder, but he did. And it was quite something. And, it just proves that, WWE ended up making this whole feud kind of interesting tonight. I know it's still a crappy feud, but I mean, it's crazy for, Kane to throw somebody who's in a wheelchair, I mean, WWE can still do shocking stuff and, crazy stuff, and Kane is still a psycho. So I really like that they did that. HBK returned tonight, as was announced last week, and he, came out there. He was talking about how, he thought Triple H, basically his thoughts on Triple H choosing not to accept the Undertaker's challenge. Well, then he called Triple H out there because he was like, I think Triple H is just playing us because he's the game and he just wants us to think that. So Triple H came out there, and they had, I was not expecting it, but they had a, back and forth heated exchange over, Triple H was saying, it's good for business. He said it's bad for business if I end the Undertaker. He said because he would be, he's the last of an era, him and the Undertaker, and he doesn't want to end that because now, he's the COO and he's going to get all of, the WWE in the future, and Shawn Michaels is calling him a sellout and a coward, and he said, you marry some chick and you're one of them, and it was just really surprisingly heated. And then Shawn Michaels, towards the end of their exchange, he was like, look me in the eyes and tell me that you're not going to end the streak. Tell me no. And so Triple H looked him in the eyes, and he told him no. And then Shawn Michaels was very disappointed, and he just walked out. But and then Undertaker bell, gong, and another video showed up on screen where Undertaker was saying, he's gonna get his immortality, and what's rightfully his, and it actually showed him cutting his hair. So I don't know, maybe the next time we see Undertaker, because people were complaining about, he had a wig. Maybe next time we see him, he'll be bald because he was cutting his hair. So that was a very well done segment. It didn't go too long, and I mean, it wasn't just Shawn Michaels showed up for no reason. They actually had a very good promo battle, or not really a promo battle, but stuff they were saying just really built up the match that we all know was eventually going to happen at WrestleMania. So it was a good appearance by HBK. They didn't waste it. Anyway, so it was a pretty good episode of Raw. I thought they built up the Elimination Chamber very well. And that's pretty much it for now. It was just I thought it was a good episode of Raw.